What's up, my friends, and welcome back to All the Things Sort of Truth, the alcohol-fueled, chapter-by-chapter reread of the Sort of Truth series. There's a talking wolf in the fucking chapter. You guys, I'm sorry. There's a talking wolf. I'm sorry. I got too excited there.
Yeah, you got a little sidetracked.
I'm Nate.
And I'm Jade.
And this week we're going to be talking about Chapter 38 of Wizard's First Rule.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, and Talking Wolf. So,
yeah. Can't
stress that enough. Wolf that talks.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the synopsis.
Yeah, I kind of ruined the element of surprise.
That's okay. We can get right into it, though.
Yeah. So this chapter starts with Kaylin and Zed bickering with each other, and Richard has finally had enough, and he tells them that he has finally had enough.
Yeah, knock your shit off.
Yeah. So they're arguing about what it is they're going to do when they get to Tamarang. Now, we know that the goal is to get to Tamarang, but we don't know individual plans once we get there. Zed has one. Kaylin has another, and Richard is like the judge in the matter, and they're both telling him what they think they should do, and Richard has to fucking weigh it out.
Yeah, well, because they both think that they should be the one to be taking the lead, because Zed is the wizard of the First Order, so of course he should be taking the lead there, and Giller's his student, so he should be able to handle that shit. And Kaylin's like, no, he was my wizard.
Yeah, and they both each kind of do have a right to say that this should be my operation.
Yeah.
I could see Zed being like, I'm first wizard. So, like, I'm first wizard. And then Kaylin being like, yeah, but technically I'm your boss. So,
yeah,
I'm going to be the point man here.
Them both thinking that Giller is going to listen to each one of them more than the other one.
Right.
But Richard thinks they're both wrong. They're going to go in peacefully. And if they have to fight, he'd rather do it on the way out than on the way in. Which, duh, that makes the most sense, for sure.
Yeah, you don't want to have to fight your way into a castle to get what you need, only to fight your way back out. The best way to get in there would be peacefully, and only if they get, like, exposed, per what their plan is going to be here in just a little bit, then might they have to fight their way out, but only out, not in.
Right. It's
like fighting upstairs.
That's more difficult?
Yeah, there's a joke about I have the high ground.
That's what I was just thinking.
Yeah, it'd be much harder to fight your way into a castle. A lot of castles are designed that way. The throne room, or as you think of it, the king and the queen sit way up in the castle, because if you're going to invade that castle, it's harder to fight on an incline if you are the person that's lower.
Yeah.
If you're above the other person, then it's easier for you.
Yeah, because you can stab down.
Well, yeah, and I think you have a better, reach towards the dude's head.
That makes sense. Richard also points out they don't know what Giller's situation is, if he's a good guy or a bad guy, if he just needs some help. Like, maybe he's dug in there with a box, and he just needs help in hand.
Yeah, what if he's on our side?
We don't want to scare him off. And, Raw might fucking be there, or, like, waiting for them to... Maybe not necessarily them, but Raw might be waiting for somebody to flush out the box, essentially. So maybe let's not do that for him.
We know Dark and Raw already there.
Yeah.
So they're talking about this, and unless it's actually set before it happened in some weird time warp thing, which I don't think it is, we know that he's already there, and this whole plan about how them getting in before Raw is there is already not going to work.
Right. But Richard does bring up the fact that Giller is a wizard, and there's a chance that there was a wizard's web over the box to hide them, and that's why Milena has Giller, which is kind of a random thing for a non-wizard to, like, think about, I kind of thought. Because, yeah, he's totally right. That's what's happening. It's strange that Richard thought about that, and they ended up seeing the box.
Yeah, and he was so close to it, and he had no idea.
Right. Zed wasn't with them. So they, like, missed it, but, like...
I know. Yeah, had they been with Zed and ran into Rachel, you're absolutely right. They would have had the box.
Yeah. So it's funny that Richard was, like, flirting with that idea. And he was so close to the box at the same time.
Right. It's just... Yeah. That's one of the really good parts in the book. He comes so fucking close to getting it. Like, it could have been it. That would have been it. Just a by chance meeting of two strangers.
Yeah.
That could have solved the book. But no.
No, Zed comes one day late, and now they have to fucking go to Tamarang.
Yeah. It's all Zed's fault.
Fucking Zed.
No, that's not fair. I can't blame Zed.
Well, Richard's plan is that Kaylin's going to go in as the Mother Confessor. Zed's going to go in as her trusted cloud reader, and Richard is going to be the seeker. So basically, the only one kind of lying is Zed. But, I mean, he's been lying for the last however many years, so whatever.
He is a cloud reader.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's not lying. He's just not being forthright about who he is exactly.
Yeah. It was funny when Zed's like, all right, I'll be your fucking wizard. And Richard's like, no, you won't, actually.
Yeah. You are not going to be a fucking wizard. You're going to be anything but a wizard.
Yeah, sit down. Me and Kaylin are already going to be like blazing red flags. Like, hey, we're like 2/3 of the people you've been looking for.
Right. But that's kind of part of the plan, too, is that Kaylin is a blazing red flag, but she's something familiar. So it's something the queen already knows how to kind of control and take care of that situation. Richard and the cloud reader are going to be new.
Right.
And he's the fucking seeker. And so the plan is to have the queen want them gone as soon as possible.
Yeah, because, I mean, she's not going to make herself look guilty by not letting Kaylin come, but she's not going to want them to know she's up to anything.
Right. She's damn sure not going to want them to stay.
Yeah, Kaylin tells Richard that he and Zed both need to remember to, like, basically stay in their place when they're around the court people.
Yeah. You got to suck up to me.
Yeah.
I'm the boss.
Act like she's the most important person in the entire fucking world.
I mean, to Richard, she's pert near that.
Yeah. But he's a little uncomfortable with that because he sees her as an equal. So he's like weirded out by like, he's like, okay.
I'm not going to make myself a lesser.
Yeah. He's like, all right, whatever. It's not a big deal. But Zed's like, no, you don't understand, man.
You do it.
Yeah. Whatever she says, you need to like bow farther. Nose in the dirt, bud.
He gives the bow and Zed's like, a little deeper, my boy.
Yeah.
Look, you gotta sell this. You're not just faking for their benefit. Like, behind the scenes, you and the Mother Confessor would joke about how you didn't really bow that well. She might not have your head, but she'd probably slap the shit out of you at the very least.
Yeah. Everyone is scared of her. So, like,
Be scared of her.
Yeah. This whole situation makes Richard like super fucking uncomfortable, so he decides he's just gonna go take watch. He doesn't want to think about it, even though going to take watch will make him think about it. He wants to do that alone. So he's gonna go watch. So he goes and sits on a log and tries not to get his ass wet.
Yeah. Doesn't want to sit in the mold. Oh, that's moss. God damn it. That log is perfectly shaped like my ass. The things your mind wanders to while you're sitting alone in the dark.
Yeah.
And then a sound. Richard becomes aware that there is something in the woods that he can't see. It does say that, like, when he can call a target to himself when he's shooting, Zed suspects he'd be able to hit the target even blindfolded.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of felt like this had to do something with that.
Like, he's sensing the air around him, kind of, because he's on watch.
Yeah, like he doesn't have to. He knows it's out there. He can't see it. It's black.
Yeah,
There's just nothing to see.
but he can feel it.
He's
there.
sure it's there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and where it is too.
Yeah.
I think that's above the grade of any regular person. I mean, it's one thing if you're on point and you're fucking you're going into paranoid mode because you're like, well, survival mode.
Yeah.
But I think this is something else.
Yeah. You think it's more than that?
Yeah. This is Richard specific.
Spidey sense.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, he's right. There is something there because he gets charged by a wolf, like out of nowhere. And then it bounces off his chest and attacks a hearthound that's behind him.
Yeah.
That, like, directly at chest level. So it was going to rip his heart out. It was, like, right there.
Was it just standing there? It hadn't made any noise? Was it also running at Richard?
In my head, I was thinking maybe it was jumping towards his heart while the other...
Like a midair collision.
Like in Lion King, where the lions are like... But...
This is an audio platform. That looks great for those of you who can't see.
If you've watched Lion King, you know what I'm talking about. You got a visual. Yeah. They're like colliding. It's a whole thing. But now that I think about it, the heart hounds are like really fucking big, right?
Yeah. Yeah. They're supposed to be big.
So like chest level big?
Sitting down, I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, Loki could theoretically get your chest if you're sitting down. He's a big dog. He's 90 pounds.
That's right.
But I think the heart hounds are bigger than that.
Richard was sitting. That's true. I wasn't even thinking about that.
Yeah, sitting on a log, so he's probably not that high.
No.
He's probably not that far off the ground. He might be high if he's just keeping watch.
He shouldn't be high if he's just keeping watch.
No, I agree.
But during this hubbub, he hits his head and is knocked out.
Oh, I'm sure this is a hootenanny.
Hoedown?
I'm all out of country-sounding words. Yeah, no, we're awful. Cheers.
Cheers. So, when Richard wakes up, Zed and Kaylin are over top of him, and he tells them it was a wolf, and it saved his life. And they're like, what the fuck? That's how he ended up on the ground. So I think they heard, like, oh, there's a hootenanny going on out there in the woods. And they decided to go check it out.
I'm feeling hubbub now. I think maybe hubbub was the right word.
Well, there was a hubbub out in the woods.
There was a hubbub.
And they go and check it out, and they're like, oh, shit. Richard's knocked out. And then they woke him up.
That makes sense.
And then Kaylin immediately, as soon as he says wolf, she's like, shit. Brophy, get your ass out here. And then the fucking wolf walks out.
Yeah, he just comes out and he shows himself. And then he fucking talks. I mean, okay, so we've kind of learned already that dragons are real, right? Dragons being real and they can talk was a big fucking deal. But a wolf that can talk is an even bigger deal. If a wolf can talk and wolves have been domesticated, then it's possible that someday we could have a talking dog.
Oh, I mean, me and you already kind of think we do.
I mean, we accuse them all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it could happen.
It should happen.
It's a big deal, guys.
I mean, I agree. Our dog's eyes are kind of yellow. They're like amber.
Yeah, a little bit.
I straight up accused him earlier after we listened to this chapter. I was like, you hear that, bro? It's written down. It's in print. You can tell me now.
Humans know. Secret's out, dude. You can talk. Come on, talk.
So they head back to camp, and Richard just starts talking to the wolf. Like, no questions. He's just like, hey, my name's Richard. How was your night?
Yeah, he gets real comfortable with talking to a wolf real fast. We talked about this earlier. I would have a full 3 minutes of being like, can he talk like people? Is it like a parrot? Say hi, and he'd be like, hi, and he'd be like, you know, there'd be at least 3 full minutes of me just comprehending this. And Richard's like, I'm going to ask him about quantum physics.
Yeah. Wait. Am I allowed to pet you?
Yeah. Oh, is that weird? Do you like being pet? Are you a good boy?
Can we cuddle? Wait, is that weird? Wait.
Yeah. Start thinking about our dog like, never mind. I'm going to cuddle you.
Yeah, we're cuddling. I mean, it's happening. Whatever. So, Kaylin asks why the fuck Brophy is back with them. He was released, whatever the fuck that means, like the genie.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. He got his cuffs taken off, and now he's just a dog.
Now,
big dog. Wolf. He's a wolf. It's not
wolf.
the same thing.
Now he can go on vacation.
He's got a goofy hat, and he's ready to go.
Yeah. He tells Kaylin, though, that he's been killing the heart hounds whenever they make camp. He's been circling and murdering all the demon dogs.
He wasn't watching them this whole time. The tooth was keeping him away.
Until he went through the mountains. And then he's been watching them since then.
Yeah, because he had the tooth for a little bit.
Yeah.